The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system.
It was the voice of a courageous explorer, a man dedicated to the pursuit of man's knowledge and the expansion of his horizons.
Good morning. Here is Nathan Ivey.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cops watching, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the tent plates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio, here's the king of superlative flows, Nathan Ivey.
Good morning. Welcome back from my hiatus. Politicking on the latest. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. And if you're listening for the first time, you found us. It's your lucky day. Good morning. Welcome, man. We got plenty of seats for you. Good morning. If you like to transform your brainwaves into talk radio waves, 513-873-7134. In preparation for today's show, I did the same thing yesterday. I've been going back through my timeline. And since I post with a certain amount of frequency, and typically there's things that we discuss, my timeline for me represents, it's almost like show prep in a way. So I've now been going back through my timeline, and it's just so many memories, so many flows, so many interactions, so many topics, many things that I have forgotten. Probably many things that you've forgotten as we look back at the year in people 2016. Again, if you don't already have me locked in, saved into your contacts, do me a favor, 513-873-7134. In fact, do yourself a favor. All kind of things are happening that we must discuss, including $250,000. $250,000. Okay, $250,000. That's exactly the amount of money that the city of Cincinnati paid the former police chief, Jeffrey Blackwell. And I'm not sure if you're aware of that story or what's going on. So later on today, as I understand it, 6 p.m. at a local church, not too far from me, so I do plan on being in attendance. I want to be a fly on the wall. I want to talk to the major players. I want to give you exclusive interviews and insight. And it's going to be a very interesting, next year is going to be interesting. Because, Yvette Simpson is in it to win it. She's in it to win it. I know there were some questions, but it appears about whether she was actually going to go follow through with everything about challenging the mayor, running for mayor. She's in it to win it. And so she may seize upon these emails. So now here's the latest little bit of information. Now we found out, and there's members of city council that weren't even made aware of this. I mean, I'm getting the impression that members of council found out when the general public did, with the local news articles and interviews. And that is, on top of everything else, the city paid $250,000 to the former chief of police, Jeffrey Blackwell, to basically make him stop his lawsuit against the city for wrongful termination and basically just to go away. $250,000. As I read, $80,000, I believe, went to the lawyers. Woo! The lawyers, man. Damn. Fellas, get you a woman with a law degree. Get you a woman that wants to be a lawyer. Push her, help her, build with her, and then enjoy the fruits of the labor with her as well. Women say they want equality. You got it now. You got it now. You got that equality. $250,000. $85,000, I believe. About somewhere around $80,000 is going to the lawyers. The rest was for another year of he had like a $10,000 bonus. They're going to pay for the health benefits, and then maybe like another year and a half of his salary. That's the former police chief. Man, mayor costing us extra money. That's $150,000 it could have went to one of these school programs. Quite honestly, just to be real. Listen, and I know that you really can't speak out, but if you're listening right now and either you work for or you're the director of one of the city of Cincinnati's recreation centers, are you telling me that I don't know. You telling me you couldn't benefit from $10,000? $10,000 can buy a lot of equipment. You can do a lot of enrichment programs with $10,000. And I know I used to buy that kind of stuff. I know exactly how much it costs. The nets, the balls, the programming. I know, and that is popping. There's a whole industry out there that most people aren't even aware of that service before and after school programs and provide programming in school, right? In school programming for a lot of schools. There's an economy out there that most people have no idea with. Okay, I'm not saying anybody's getting rich. I'm just saying $10,000 can go a long way. Listen, let's say they dropped $100,000 in one of these, just one rec center. You could change the game. You could impact a lot of children then, a lot of families then. Mayor's costing us money. Because I think we all agree now that outside of what was happening internally between maybe the police, members of the command staff, and also the former chief, and outside of the fact that perhaps the city manager and the mayor of Cincinnati may have had an issue with the former police chief, Mr. Jeffrey Blackwell, he seemed to have a good connection with the community. Isn't that important? Everybody talks about community-oriented policing. Listen, John Cranley will travel the globe boasting about Cincinnati and boasting about our collaborative and boasting about our community-oriented policing. But when you get one of the most community-oriented police chiefs in recent memory, he gets fired. That's deep. That's deep. You tell me. Also, perhaps a question of manhood. Fellas, let's bring manhood into 2017. Like, there might be a long list of things that we don't want to bring in 2017 with us. Like, let's leave our baggage in 2016. But manhood, real manhood, damn. I posted a link to an article, and I've got clips for you as well. And this is a harrowing experience. What would you do if you're in this situation? You got a family, mother, father, and 10-year-old son, and they're traveling. And they're in a wooded area. The car is stuck. The weather is extreme. What do? You're 20-something miles from help. Have you seen this story? This is amazing. I don't know what's up with manhood these days. And, women expect different things. This is what I'm gathering from the female response to this particular article that I linked to my Facebook page. And that is, women don't expect men to be men anymore. They so used to it. These weak ass men out here acting like Mitches. I'm not your mama boy. But a mom walked 26 miles in freezing wilderness to help save her family. Her name is Karen Klein, 46. She was on vacation with her husband and her 10-year-old son near Grand Canyon National Park. This happened last Thursday when they got caught in some heavy snow. They couldn't go any further into the park, and then they tried to turn around. The vehicle got stuck. That's like a real life MacGyver moment. Ladies, listen, don't couple up with one of these Oprah-fied. They looks like a grown man, but it's really not. Who's not prepared to take care of you in moments like this. You know what I'm saying? Always be prepared. I was a wee below. Always be prepared. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, because you at least put some extra blankets in the car. You never know. You're driving through the wilderness. So they make a decision because they're miles from civilization. And they couldn't get cell service. I mean, damn. I'm paying all this money for a cell phone. I get stuck in the wilderness and the cell phone don't work. I'm leaving that cell phone provider. I'm telling you off the top. I'm not messing with them no more. If I'm in a situation like this and my phone ain't working, I ain't messing with them no more. What kind of damn cell phone is this? Could you imagine? You're stuck in your car. You got your child there. It's cold. I mean, nobody can predict that you're going to get stuck. But, I mean, come on, fellas. We're men. Don't you watch, Survivor Man? Don't you watch these kind of shows? Men are supposed to be prepared. You don't got no PB&J in the back, no blankets, nothing? That's not a real man. I'm sorry. A real man is like a weeby low. Always prepared. Always prepared. But, from what I read, it did have a little bit of water, a little bit of food. And for whatever reason, I don't know whether she because, every woman is different. She could have been one of these types that's like, no, I'm leaving. For whatever reason, she was the one who left the car, left the husband at the car with the child. And she was the one who was walking out into the wilderness. It's crazy. And apparently what she was doing is she was walking further every day. So the first day she walked 10 miles, hoping that she could flag somebody down. She goes to a main road. Nobody's on the road. That's because everybody else was smart. Apparently she saw a highway sign that said that she was 14 miles away from the park's entrance. So she kept on going. She's like, oh, well, I did 10. I'll do another 14. No big deal. And so while mom is out here lost in the wilderness, dad, the husband, and the son, so they somehow make it to higher ground, and they're finally able to get a cell phone signal. And I'm like, you couldn't think of that before your woman walked off into the wilderness? I mean, anything can happen out there, man. Anything. So ironically, the husband and the son get rescued before the woman does. Yet another reason why it should be a man that makes that decision. Come on now, fellas. Come on now. It's just what it is. You got to take one for the team. Okay, you in a situation like this, a real man takes one for the team. You got to die. It's what it is. You got to die. You want to live like a coward? No, you got to die. Now, apparently she had a little food and water with her, but she ran out. So she started eating twigs. My wife would never survive. My wife ain't eating no twigs. I'm telling you right there. She's not going to do it. Listen, I'll be catching small rodents, eating them raw. And she be like, I don't want that. That's my wife. I have to end up carrying my wife. Because she won't eat. I already know it. If I forage from berries, I'm like eating the berry. Eating the berries. I try to serve her some berries. She won't eat the berries. I know it already. If I catch me a little squirrel or something, unless I can get me some kind of seasoning from somewhere, cook it, she not going to eat it. Me, I eat it raw. I eat the gizzards. I eat all of it raw. I would. I think I would. Yeah, I would. I know me. So she began eating twigs. What twigs are those? You can survive on twigs? I need to know which twigs. So I might be in that situation. And drinking her own urine. So that's what I learned. It's better to drink your own urine than the snow. Because apparently if you drink the snow, it's going to cool down your core. And then hypothermia may set in. You might freeze to death out there. So apparently this woman hiked 26 miles for about 30 hours straight before she came to a cabin, smashed her way into the cabin and just held it down until they found her. 20. Now, I finally saw a video. It was an interview of the two of them. And I mean, I hate to judge people, but Dad don't look too tough. I'm just going to put it to you like that. Dad don't look too tough. I mean, come on, ladies. You would never respect your man again if you're in that situation and you're the one that's got to save them. You would never respect him again. You might as well just wrap that up. Looks like she might lose a couple of toes, too. Oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm calling that over pretty soon. Pretty soon, that relationship. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. Where are my manners? Where the hell are my manners?
Oh, get to the chopper!
Run it again.
Oh, get to the chopper!
All right, let's get to it. The choppers. That is deep. Now, on this show, I'm going to look back at some of the more interesting people in 2016 based upon things that, have come up on the show. 2016 has been amazing. Well, hell, we kicked off the show in 2016. And I was looking back at some of the milestones that I was posting because I wanted to be able to look back just in terms of like our plays, subscriber numbers as we've hit certain milestones I've shared via Facebook. It's quite interesting. I would listen, if you post a lot, if you post things that are particular to you or maybe politics or things that catch your eye, you might find it interesting to go back through your own timeline. I was doing it last night and this morning, and I didn't remember all of these things we discussed, all these things that had happened. But good morning to you again, 513-873-7134. A lot of things going on, including I just confirmed, I got the invitation yesterday that I'll be in an event. It's public. It's about, that new class of black leadership, right? Leadership. And I'll be a part of it. I'll tell you more details and when exactly it is later on in this show. Later on the show. But first, let me get to the choppers. Let me back up here. Back it up. I see Tanika. Tanika's holding it down. She writes, good morning, Nate, and the choppers. Good morning, Tanika. Really appreciate you. Chuck writes, sup, Nate, and the chop shop. Smashing the like button. Good morning, Chuck. And followed by Jane. Good morning, Jane. She writes, good morning, Nathan, and the chop shop. That's 1, 2, and 3 in the chop shop for today, Thursday, December 29th, 2016. Shall we press on? Yeah, let's press on. Good morning, Kelly. She writes, good morning, Nathan. Kiki writes, I read Mr. Ivy and the choppers in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lips. Good morning, Kiki. A 7-lip Thursday. Nothing will be bad about that. Brenda writes, a happy Thursday. Pat writes, good morning, y'all. Kiki writes, happy 4th day of Kwanzaa. Keeping us so culturally on point. Fame Up writes, Fame came through obnoxious and ready to talk that ish. Good. Just how I like it. Just how I like you, Fame. Good morning to you. Casey writes, good morning, Chopper. Sending some positive, powerful vibrations to you all. I think that's how she means it. CJ writes, good morning. Good morning, CJ. Really appreciate your support. Shout out to Team NI. Shout out to the Choppers. Okay. All right. You might be on Team NI, but you don't really come into the chop shop. You just listen. That's cool. Shout out to my patrons. All right. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Deborah writes, good morning. Shauna writes, good morning, Mr. Ivy and the Choppers. Avi writes, great morning. Absolutely. Feeling good. Anybody in the room, are you planning on attending the meeting later on today, the press conference? I am planning on being there. If you cannot be there, I probably will broadcast live as well. Probably using Facebook Live, something like that. So around 6 or so, if you're on Facebook, check your boy out. We'll see how it goes. I'm just interested. I know that Dwight Tillery, from what I'm reading, is going to be a part of it. And I thought that Dwight Tillery 4 years ago was stumping. Wasn't he really? He was like a surrogate for the guy. He was really pushing John Cranley, I thought. I could be wrong about that. If I am, set me straight. If I'm not, that's interesting. And I'm going back through my timeline. Oh, man. I don't know if you remember this dude. This game, at least on Facebook. Hold on, let me get to the right place. At least on Facebook. Here we go. This was a local story, right? And it was strictly online. It never made the headlines. This goes back to May of 2016. This may or may not ring a bell. But black dude, I'm going to say he lives here in Hamilton County because what went down between him and a sheriff's deputy, I don't know if it went viral, but it definitely got a lot of clicks. It caught my attention. His name is, at least on Facebook, Donnie McGuire. And apparently he got pulled over by a member of law enforcement, and he thought it was some BS. He thought it was some BS. He knew it was some BS. You ever got a ticket and you know it's some BS, but you're like, damn, I'm going to go ahead and pay it. I don't feel like bothering with it. So you just let these suckers off. It happens. I ain't judging you. I've been there as well. You're like, I'm going to pay it. We was like, bump that. And so he went in there and represent himself, basically won. And what he posted on Facebook was quite interesting. He writes, I get pulled over for no effing reason. He run me, but all he came back with was a ticket and a no seatbelt. I'm pissed. But instead of argue with his ass and get shot in the head, I took my ticket and my ass to court. I plead, prosecutor keep pulling me in the hard way, begging me to settle and pay the fine. I told her, no, my money matters. So I wait for another hour, trial time. Judge give me a long ass speech telling me she don't have time to get me a lawyer. She won't continue it. And if I don't stay to pay, then I'll have to defend myself. I ain't tripping. Def been doing this my whole life, he writes. My opening statement, murder. Cross-examine the witness, the cop, murder. Explanation of evidence, ticket, murder. Closing statement, murder, which means he just killed it. And he beat the ticket. That was hilarious. You might remember that. May not. You might remember it, may not. I will tell you that one of the more interesting things I saw on television in 2016 is surrounding a man that we've been talking about for 20 years, O.J. Simpson. That was one of the best television shows ever. The People versus O.J. Simpson, that was super hot. Everybody was watching. That's 2016. But again, good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Remember Adrian Broner got himself in some issues this year? Got caught on TMZ? Apparently he was he was gambling and bowling with people that he know. One thing led to another. He gets accused with boom, basically, robbing a guy. Remember this? Remember how he was shouting out Donald Trump as he was being led into the Hamilton County Courthouse? Remember this? Don't forget this, man. It's 2016. And 2016 has been very interesting. I'll tell you another person that we spoke about this year quite a bit. As a matter of fact, this man might end up being the sucker MC / Gilligan of the damn year. And I'm talking about George Zimmerman. You remember, this goes back to May of 2016. You remember when George Zimmerman auctioned the gun that he used to kill Trayvon Martin? Remember that? See, that was interesting in and of itself. I think at the end of the day, he raised over $100,000 for that. He tried to put it online on one particular website that does like online bidding and auctioning and things like that. And they said, nah, we don't want to be a part of this. But how macabre is that? How macabre. You want to own the gun that was used to kill an unarmed black man? Where the hell is this sitting up? Is it on like the wall at the Nazi headquarters? The young Nazi leaders of, the young alt-right leaders of America. Because we got to say alt-right. You mean white supremacist? That's what you mean. Some tells me a white supremacist bought that gun. Why would you want that in your collection? If I'm collecting gun, why the hell do I want that gun? You got a body on that gun. And the body is of Trayvon Martin, who was absolutely innocent, did nothing wrong, did absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. I don't know if it's rectified, but is the city of Cincinnati still committed to the collaborative agreement? Remember we found out this year? We found out this year that the Citizens Complaint Authority in city of Cincinnati has no authority. There's no authority. Now, again, this goes back to May of 2016. Perhaps some things have been put in place. Maybe they moved some money around. But as of May of 2016, the Citizens Complaint Authority in the city of Cincinnati, a city that's touted for the collaborative, has no authority, is underfunded, backlogged, not enough investigators, basically not working the way it's supposed to. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. Another story from mid-year you might have forgotten is the story of, I think her name is, the way you pronounce it is Anya Illick. But this young girl, I bet you don't remember that name, do you? And I remember playing an audio clip about her story. And it was a morning motivation segment. She was a 7-year-old born with no hands, but she won a penmanship contest. And think about that. No hands. And she won a penmanship contest. So here was a young girl at 7 years old who was achieving beyond what some would say would be the limitations of her physicality and doing better than people who was born with more. If that's not a source of inspiration, I don't know what is. Anya Ellick. I mean, my list may be different than anybody else's list. I don't know. I'm sure everyone's doing to some degree, or a lot of people are looking back. Everyone has a different list. Everyone has a different lens. This is my lens. What about yours? What about yours? 513-749. No, 513-873-7134. Oh, yeah, I'm programmed. I ain't above it. Good morning to you. I'll tell you one thing I will not forget. I will not forget the way that we reacted and responded to that Tri-County Mall situation. The security guard just went off on this brother. And then people in the audience and really who saw that story responded. And I'm not sure what happened to dude. I don't know if he got fired. I'm not really sure, but he was removed from that position. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I mean, people actually called in. People actually left messages. Did I speak with her or did she sit? And I don't recall actually. I think it was both. I think I called and maybe spoke with someone. I really just don't recall. And then I definitely got some correspondences back from the management over there. And they responded quite quickly, didn't they? Dude said, I am the authority. I am the authority. Listen, going back to April, we were talking about a father in Virginia who posted a Facebook video of himself disciplining his son. You might recall this. His son was wilding out. His son's a teenager, like 17 years old. His son was wilding out in school, right? And so when he got home that day, the father made him put on the boxing gloves and basically beat his son until he was bloody. And Facebook video and broadcast the entire thing. And of course, the question was that child abuse or discipline. I think we all agree that was on the border of discipline, if not just straight up discipline. But hey, that's what you got to do. That's what a father does, right? Maybe not. It's wrong with these people. You're going to abuse a child, put it on Facebook and think, well, I mean, if I had a problem with it, I wouldn't have put it on Facebook. That's your defense? I mean, beat his son until his son was bloodied. I mean, it was absolutely disgusting, quite honestly. It really was. But good morning. Welcome back. We'll take a quick pause and come back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show.
Searching online? 3linkdirectory.com has handpicked tens of thousands of quality links, so you don't have to spend hours searching. Find the best internet links on 3Link Directory. Visit 3linkdirectory.com now. Enjoy quality links sorted in categories like arts, games, health, shopping, sports, travel, and many more on 3linkdirectory.com. That's 3linkdirectory.com.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking
me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Good morning, welcome back. The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. Good morning, welcome back. Currently 7:37 a.m. And I'm hoping to maybe jog some memories, maybe provoke some conversation, but jog some memories as we look back, as we prepare for 2017. It's very customary, at least in the media, to kind of look back. I find it interesting to look back and sort of remember some of the conversations that we had many, many months ago. Many, many months ago. And already looking at my timeline has been valuable to me. And I'll tell you why. Because I was promoting this show in a certain manner that I've stopped doing that, after looking at it now, I'm going to pick that up again. I like that. Creating those memes on a daily basis. I'm going to pick that back up today, as a matter of fact. It's interesting. A local story. Remember PG Sinfield? He collapsed back in April. Remember that? I saw the video. That was trippy, boy. Woo, that's trippy. And now shout out to PG for the invitation to Ta-Nehisi Coates. Really appreciate it. We also found out this year, and again, I'm focusing on people of 2016. This may not, these names may not be on your list, but these are some of the things that we discussed on the Nathan Ivey Show after we kicked it off online. So going back to April, we found out that the man who I think set up John Crawford III, Ronald Ritchie, was not going to be charged. Yeah, he was in that Walmart in Beaver Creek that day. He was the man who made the 911 call. He was the man who I believe lied. I think that directly related to his phone call. I think there's a causality between his phone call and the way that the police reacted when they got on the scene. Had he given a more accurate description of what was going on, then perhaps when the police responded, they would not have overreacted the way they did. However, I want to make this clear that at the end of the day, while I believe that Ronald Ritchie is culpable and should have been charged, the officer that pulled the trigger is the main culprit. But we found out this year he was not going to be charged. That wasn't good. That's a slap in the face for justice, quite honestly. That's a slap in the damn face for justice. Going back to April of 2016, do you remember when Tyrese, and this was attributed to him, that he said that he refuses to marry a woman with a loud and aggressive personality? When brothers say that about women, especially if he's a brother, then the assumption is automatically that he's talking about sisters. And because of some of the stereotypes that may be true about some black women, it's something that can really manifest itself. Like, it's really real. But I like a woman with an aggressive personality. The loud part, I want to be with a woman that knows when there's a time for everything. There's a time to be loud. There's a time to be aggressive. And everybody was running around saying that Tyrese was a Mitch. Yeah, any black man, celebrity, if you go out in the media and start saying anything about how you don't want aggressive women, automatically people are going to assume that what you're saying is that you're too damn weak to deal with a strong black woman. That's what people are going to assume. And that's what people are saying about Tyrese. Weakness. Looks like Tyrese was drinking some weak juice. Something. Looking back again, this may not be on your radar screen, but these are some of the things that we did discuss this past year on the Nathan Ivey Show. Kind of looking back, and it's interesting, actually. It's kind of interesting. It's so funny, but, as I see on my Facebook timeline, it was back in April when I had posted that the fired Cincinnati police chief, Jeffrey Blackwell, said he was going to sue the city. And I don't know if I think it was first reported from O.J. Hancock, actually, who actually he added a clip of a video. I think it was O.J. Hancock, actually. And it was an interview he did in which the chief sort of first implied, or he might have just straight up said, yeah, I'm going to sue these folks. I'm going to sue them. And now we're finding out that the city already settled with Jeffrey Blackwell. Nobody knew about it. I mean, I think it's safe to say that John Cranley costing y'all money. Because that's what, $150,000, $250,000 that could have been spread across some of these, I don't know, rec centers. Why not? I'll tell you one type of story I have absolutely no sympathy for, and I'm not going to say I look forward to talking about these kind of things, but when I see these kind of situations, I have no sympathy whatsoever. I'm going to tell you what kind of stories I'm talking about right after I take a phone call. Good morning, caller. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy and the Choppers. It's Kiki.
Kiki. What's going on? Good morning.
Nothing much. I wish y'all could see me because I'm waving at y'all like y'all can see me.
You know what? I was just doing like a little dance in my chair, so hey. Good morning, Kiki.
I love it. Good morning.
What's going on? What's on your mind?
Nothing much. I have a lot of things going on because I'm an Aquarius, but I want to, say give thanks to you for this type of, environment. And I've met some really cool people from the chop shop, and I'm just grateful for a lot of things. I'm glad 2016 is almost gone. I'm looking forward to 2017.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, 2017, make it your year. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I'll make it my year.
No doubt. Yep, and leave the wickedness behind, all that other mess. It's not worth it,
Now, 2017 should be focused about winning. Whatever endeavor you are, whatever your plans are, whatever your goals are, go for them. 2017.
Yes, I agree totally. I totally agree about that. Okay. So that's what we're all going to do. We're going to make it.
So, Kiki, when we get to a 10-lit morning, then what happens?
I'm not going to tell. It's going to be a surprise.
Okay.
I'm a woman of many mysteries, and I like to keep people in suspense.
Sounds good to me. I have no problem with it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll take it easy, Kiki.
Beautiful day.
Thank you very much. I will. So do you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. 10. Ooh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. As I said before talking with Kiki, always a pleasure. Ladies, you are always welcome to call in. You're more welcome than the fellas. I'll go ahead and say it. I love to hear female voices. Yes. I don't know why I'm saying that. But right before my call with Kiki, as I said, there's a certain story that I don't have no sympathy for the humans involved. I really don't. And we discussed such a story back in April of this year. There was a zookeeper at the Palm Beach Zoo, a white female, and she was basically attacked by one of the rare species of tiger, right? And I keep telling people, leave the animals alone. Haven't you learned? The animals don't want to play this game. The whole, okay, listen, I'm in my native environment. You come take me or my mom in captivity. You transport us to a damn zoo where people are looking at us. And you think I'm cool with that? What makes you think the animal, that is not their role? Stacy Conweiser, she was the lead tiger keeper. And she got killed by a 13-year-old Malaysian tiger. And I don't have no sympathy. Stop playing. And they were doing something called tiger talk, right? You can't talk to these animals. The only person that can talk to the animals is Beastmaster and Tarzan. That's it. Didn't you know that? And apparently she was referred to as the tiger whisperer, right? This is like some stuff the humans come up with, right, to make other humans think that they've got some kind of special connection with animals. Like there's a show called The Dog Whisperer. Oh, he communicates with the dogs. He's not communicating with these damn dogs. What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm the orca whisperer. You know, some people get in the water with like a 2-ton orca, an orca whale. Oh, he loves me. I've known him since he was 3 months. Yeah, okay. Yeah, to the whale drags your ass to the bottom of the pool and won't let you breathe. Listen, what happens if I take this human and drag them to the bottom of the pool? That's happened before. So, again, I remember exactly what I said. I'll say it to you again. Leave these damn animals alone, man. Don't you remember what happened to Steve Irwin? Steve Irwin, what was he, the crocodile hunter? The reptiles was sick of his ass. The marsupials, sick of his ass. The crustaceans, all the different species of dolphins, the turtles, the coral reef. And so the animal kingdom put out a hit on Steve Irwin. When was the last time you heard about somebody getting stabbed in the heart by a stingray? It don't happen. That was the natural kingdom version of the Iceman. That's what that was. Leave these animals alone. Stop effing with the animals. People just will not learn. It's white people. Let's call it what it is. It's white people. They will not learn. Oh, I want to pet the alligator. You want to pet the alligator? Okay, yeah. No, we don't want to pet the alligators. We're not doing any of that. Oh, my gosh. Boy, everybody's got different ideas of what fun is. Everybody's got different ideas of what fun is. And you don't want to get on the bad side of the animal kingdom, I'm telling you. Especially not if you want to spend time like in the animal world. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I remember back in April, we talked about, who is it? We talked about Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is an interesting character. I'm focusing on people today for 2016. Interesting people that we discussed over the last year. Using my Facebook page and some notes to some degree as a guide. But I remember we spent a whole day or two talking about Ray Lewis. Remember when he posted those videos on his Facebook page? Talking about how, you know, you got to put down the drugs and put down the guns and pick up the love and pick up the hugs and all this nonsense. I get it. It sounds good. And sort of challenging the whole concept of Black Lives Matter. Like I'm telling you, like if you're a black dude and you want to come up in like the world of sports media and things like this, you got to do two things. Number one, you have to loathe O.J. Simpson, and you have to loathe and be able to articulate intellectually why you don't support Black Lives Matter. And hey, and if you criticize Obama, that's like icing on the cake. That's back when Ray Lewis was like, oh, you know, I'm going to put a dumpster on. That's my idea. I'm going to put a dumpster on every corner in Baltimore. And if you don't put your guns in that dumpster, then you're going away for life. Way to go, Ray Lewis. And before you say, Ray Lewis is a fool and just write him off, Ray Lewis met with Donald Trump. He might have been considered for like the Department of Homeland Security or something. You have no idea. You have no idea in Donald Trump's America. You have no idea. Speaking of Donald Trump, what in the hell was Donald Trump doing with Don King? What? The last time I saw Don King was with my own natural born eyes at the RNC. And I had to go back and check my photographs. I think he was rocking the same blue jean jacket. It's got like America and all kind of stuff. I love Trump all over it. He was wearing the same blue jean jacket yesterday when he was down in Mar-a-Lago, I think it is. That's Trump's estate down in Florida, I believe it is. He's hanging out with Donald Trump. That's scary as hell, man. You got to be scared about that. Okay, not scared. You got to be concerned about that. Why is Trump hanging out with Don King? What are they talking about? And it seemed to me like Don King was just like, I hate to say it, but I don't really hate to say it. maybe for Don King, but it seemed like Don King was kind of like following Donald Trump around. Like he was his house Negro. Did you see that? So the president-elect comes to the door of wherever he was staying. I'm not sure if this is the door of his residence or the store of the hotel. I'm not really sure, but he's at the doorway, this grand doorway. And you can see people through the window pane of the door, sort of like on the inside, maybe security. There's a black dude in there, too. And it was an impromptu press conference. It just happened yesterday. And Don King is standing next to Donald Trump. And remember, the last time I saw Don King is when he used the N-word while introducing Donald Trump. Remember this? Isn't Don King a convicted felon? Didn't he stomp somebody to death a few years ago? Why in the hell is the president-elect hanging out with a man that stomped a man to death? Don King. Please, Lord, don't tell me. Please tell me that Don King is not like giving his thoughts on like policy. Hey, he may have some great ideas. You never know. Are you not alarmed by that? And it's like Don King was almost dressed up like some new age like wizard or something. Right? He had all this sparkly stuff on his blue jean outfit. I'm like, what in the hell? Is Don King Donald Trump's Gandalf? He's like a black Gandalf. What in the hell? That is concerning. I've got clips for you. We'll get to them in a second. For now, more of your phone calls. Good morning, caller. How are you?
I'm outstanding. How you doing?
What's up, fam?
Yeah, not much. Just a couple people that I want to talk about.
Sure.
Well, first of all, Don King and Donald Trump are friends, man. You know how many fights Don King put on in Trump Castle Casino back in the day?
No, how many?
I mean, quite a few. So, of course, he's going to, all of Mike Tyson fights, while Donald Trump was getting it in with his wife. So, I mean, that's of course he's going to look to his friends, the people he know to come through for him, like every politician does. But you're right. He did do 10 for manslaughter, like back in the 60s, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I thought so. Stomp some dude to death, right?
Stumped him out, yeah, over some money, and he came out and, start doing the boxing thing. But two people I want to talk about are Joy Reid and Megyn Kelly of NBC and Fox, respectively. These women, they floated out the debate questions to the candidate of their choice, which I believe, violates all, about 250 levels of journalistic integrity doing something like that. Getting the questions to them early so they can have their responses ready. I believe Joy Reid did it through Al Sharpton, if memory serves.
What did Joy Reid do?
She floated Hillary some debate questions.
Well, how do you know it was Joy Reid? That would be her job to float the debate questions? Wouldn't somebody else do that? Why would you have an on-air personality do that?
They did it through email, her and Al Sharpton, and then Sharpton got them to, what's her face?
Huh.
Let me rephrase that. Sharpton might have not been an intermediary, but there was an intermediary between Joy and Hillary. And she took a beating on Twitter over that. And I just thought that was very foul of both of them to be doing something like that.
And what did Megyn Kelly do?
She did the same thing for Donald Trump.
Well, Megyn Kelly made a name for herself. She kind of used that whole Donald Trump thing this year.
Oh, yeah.
She came up off of that.
And this was after she had, whatever that little sexual thing they had, sexual harassment thing or whatever comment he made to her. This was after that she was, I think she tried to say she was forced to do it, though.
She was forced to do what? Forced to give them the questions?
Yeah.
Well, I know there's some debate about her going to CNN. And if so, they're trying to get her there with a boatload of money, man. She came off this year. She really did. She made a name for herself, even bigger, with the whole Donald Trump running for president and some of his comments about her and other women. So she's happy.
And also another person I want to mention is I don't know. I forget the brother's name. I had it and I just forgot it that quickly. The dude who came up with the web series, The Get Down. Have you watched that?
The Get Down. You know what? It's on. It's in my queue, man. I have not seen it yet on Netflix, right?
Yes. I think that's dope. I'm loving that. You know, I mean, it's got some little anachronisms in it. You know, like they be talking about the cipher, this and that. You know, I don't think people were saying the ciphers in the 70s, but it's pretty good. I'm loving that all the way 100.
Huh. Okay.
You know, that and that HBO show, Vinyl, that was on for a little bit. I like that too. Yeah, I like that kind of, you know, historic nostalgia, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, you have a good new year, and I'll holler at you, man.
Absolutely, man. Take it easy. That's Fame, a.k.a. Leon. That's Fame. Good morning to you. His line is now available, 513-873-7134. Lock me into your phones. Just add me to your contacts. Very easy. You may never call into the show. Or perhaps in the near future, you'll hear something that may compel you to call into the show. Either way, you'll have my number. Again, 513-873-7134. Going back to April, just talking about different interesting people that we discussed on the show this year, 2016. I'll tell you, one person's name came up early. That was like going back into April, and that was Tina Campbell. Remember Tina Campbell? She's one half of the gospel, the inspirational duo, Mary Mary. Yep, and she's the one with the big forehead. Okay, she's the one with the big forehead. She's the one who had man problems. And this stuff was going on back in 2015, 2014. But, you know, back in 2016 of this year, it was revealed once again that, you know, after her husband's infidelity, that she thought about, well, she became suicidal and homicidal. She became suicidal and homicidal. And what I would say is that that's not a person of faith. I'm not challenging her faith. I'm just saying that doesn't seem like faith to me. If you believe in God, then yeah, you might be a little heartbroken here or there. You're upset because your husband cheated on you, but you're going to go suicidal or homicidal. So you're going to give up your gift that God gave you, which is life, because somebody else had sex? I don't get it. And, you know, some people get so caught up in their mate, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but you could take anything too far. You could take anything too far. Talking about interesting people of 2016. What about the sports world? The world of sports. You know, we talk a little sports here on Nathan Ivey Show. Not too much, just enough to keep it, when it's interesting, when it matters. And there was a story from the NBA that everybody was talking about because, you know, maybe you've been there or you could identify. And there was a story of, D'Angelo Russell and Nick Young. Remember this sucker? I mean, total breach of the man code, bro. Total breach. The man code has been breached. And this fool tapes his teammate, Nick Young, talking about other women. Now, you know you don't do no damn thing like that. You don't do such a thing. What kind of man does that? I'm telling you, manhood, real madness is at an all-time low. And I want to blame Caitlyn Jenner. I want to blame Bruce Jenner, kind of. So D'Angelo Russell is looks like they're at a hotel or whatever, and he's videotaping his teammate and friend Nick Young talk about how, even though he's got a fiance, which at that point was Iggy Azalea. Ladies, fellas, do you find her attractive? She all right. That arse make her more attractive, though, don't it? Yeah, it do. Yeah, it do. What is it about a white woman with rump? What is it? And before you blame these brothers, you just understand that those feelings that they're having, God gave them feelings. Leave it right there. That's it. And everyone was talking about it. Nick Young was upset. It messed up their relationship. I mean, there's just some things that men don't do. Let me take this from the top for any men who might be listening. You're like, well, what did he do wrong, Nate? I can't believe you're in his audience. I can't believe that's there. But in the far out, reality, that there's at least one person in the chop shop listening right now, the listening audience, who would ever think that this is okay. Let me tell you, you don't videotape everything, man. When your partners is talking about they dirt, you don't videotape that. That ain't funny. What's wrong with you? Total breach of the man code right there, bro. Total breach. Total breach. I mean, how could you even trust a dude like that? Oh, man. Some of these men out here, man. They need their daddies in their life. That's what happens when they daddy ain't in their life. They grow up and become a damn Mitch. Shame on D'Angelo Russell. I mean, men everywhere felt that. That was a total breach of the man code. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's been the man code since the beginning of human civilization. Since the beginning of human civilization. That's how long it's been the man code. But again, what do you think? 513-873-7134. Don't you ever do nothing like that. But there's some men out here running around recording their homies on a low. Recording their homies when they having conversations. Speaking of recordings, do you remember the recordings of Cat Williams? This goes back to March. And he was like fighting some young dude at the park. Remember that? The fuck happened to Cat Williams this year? Is he doing better? Is he doing better? But enough of me, more of you. Let's go back to the choppers. Let's do that. Tracy writes, hi. Dale writes, good morning, Nate, and the hella choppers. Good morning to you. Jared writes, good morning, team and I. Brandon writes, good morning, Nate, and the choppers. Carlene writes, good morning, choppers. Have a peaceful day.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Robin writes, good morning, everyone. Jerica writes, hola, Jerica. Cruther writes, good morning. Brown skin in the house. Damn, you so pushy, Arnold. Rhonda writes, good morning, beautiful people in the chop shop. Cruther writes, the Wizard of Oz, Cranley, has been exposed. Fake, and fake. Really? Really? Okay, fake how? How's he fake? Oh, you mean about lying on the Sentinels? How you going to lie on the Sentinels? You're going to lie on an entire organization and rewrite history. Makes you wonder about the mayor a little bit. It makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Yeah, I got the Black Clergy on lock. I got them on lock. So we got them. Oh, yeah. We was monitoring Black radio. In 48 hours, it was all done. See, what that tells you again, I want to go back to that email because that's big. It really is. Just as a tangent here, I'm glad somebody brought it up. Cruther, thank you for that. So in an email that John Cranley, the mayor of Cincinnati, sent to Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, John Cranley is boasting about how he had the support of the Black police organization and how when they made the move to get rid of the Black police chief, and he made that a point to say he happens to be Black. Now, why is that important? What was he trying to communicate to Rahm Emanuel? By telling Rahm Emanuel that the former police chief that he inherited was Black. What difference does it make if color doesn't matter? What he was communicating to him was the politics of dealing with a Black police chief in these days and times when you're the mayor of a city with the demographics that are similar to ours, whereas nearly 50% of the population is African American. But think about it. Telling us the power of media. You got the mayor, and he's admitting to you that they monitor radio. They used to monitor my show. Let's keep it all the way real. Who else were they talking about? They're talking about your boy. They're talking about me. They're talking about us. You know, so they're monitoring the show to hear just how upset Black people were going to be. Because I tell you, after having those tense moments nearly 15, 16 years ago, the social unrest after Timothy Thomas, once you take it there, it's always in the back of people's minds that it could be a possibility. And they want to make sure that before things get too hot, before tempers flare too out of control, that they can manage it as they should be. I get it. But he's like, in 48 hours, it was over. So what's that also tell you? That tells you that the duration of people's agitation, okay, it's also monitored. And so, yeah, they upset. Let's upset, but let's wait and see what happens. How long have you felt that living as a black person living in Cincinnati, that the powers that be was just going to wait you out? As a member of the media, what I'll tell you is that everything works in cycles. And I have noticed this over the years, that you'll have a story that is important. It impacts a lot of people because people see it and it connects to them on some levels, right? And then a week later, people are on to the next thing. These politicians know that. They just wait a lot of people out. It's like, okay, they're upset. Okay, let them call them to the shows and let them send letters to the editor of the local newspaper and let them call my office. In a week, we'll be on to the next issue. Jane writes, Jeffrey Blackwell deserved more than that for how he was treated. Yeah, I thought it would have been more as well. Only because, in my opinion, and I heard that this was true through the grapevine. And let me give you a heads up. I was told about this settlement months ago. I was told that there was a settlement coming months ago. But like I told you, I don't betray any allegiances. If people tell me stuff and they're like, hey, Nate, sit on this, I just want you to know, I'll do just that. So I'm not surprised to hear that there was a settlement. I thought it was a little bit low, only because, it was difficult, I've heard, for the former police chief to get another job, especially with the very public and unceremonious way in which he was fired. So I was thinking, hey, maybe he'll get a little bit more money so he can deal with the downtimes of not having a regular income coming in. But it is what it is. Lawyers made $80,000. $80,000. Dale writes, I would have continued on my lawsuit and Scotty and Isaac would have been included in my lawsuit. Uh-oh. John writes, sounds like he was plotting a cheap divorce. Brent writes, hey, what's up, Brent? He writes, good morning, Nate and my Chop Shop family. Long time no see. Hope all is well with everyone and wishing each one of you a peace, love, and light in the coming year. Absolutely, Brent. Good to see you, man. Where you been? Dale writes, it will be a movie made portraying their ordeal just because it was a white woman who done this. Hollywood loves white women bravery stories. They eat it up. Yeah. Well, the whole new Star Wars, like the first Star Wars that came out or the latest Star Wars movie that came out 2 years ago, who was it centered upon? White woman. I haven't seen a new Star Wars, but what I'm seeing from the trailers is the same thing. White female heroine. It's just a part of it's the way Star Wars is set up. Rhonda writes, maybe she was the one that was the most fit, or he told her not to go, let him think, and she didn't listen. Well, number one, that's a problem. Men get fit. Anything could happen. What the hell is this? She's the most fit. See, this is some of this equality stuff. This is some of that equality stuff. If you get into a dangerous situation and it's you and your child and your woman, you got to do the most dangerous stuff as a man, period. That's what it comes down to. Telling you, my wife may be fitter than me, but if I'm in that situation, I'm just going to have to take that L. I'm the one that's leaving the car. But think about this. She leaves the car on a 30-hour hiking trip. Meanwhile, they're back at the car. All they do is go to a hill and call and use a cell phone. So was she kind of like, listen, I've been training for this my whole life. I'm ready. I'm going to save us, dear, right? He's like, no. Let's let it stop snowing and then we'll go get some help. No. I'm Wonder Woman, right? She just forced her way to do it. Now, some women may be like that. But I saw the video. Dude seemed a little wimpy to me. I'm going to be honest with you. The dude seemed wimpy. I know that's not a nice thing to say or whatever. I mean, it was a life or death situation. I wasn't there. It's easy for me to talk. I mean, all those things you might be thinking about me are correct. You're right. I wasn't there. But when I saw the videos of dude, I was like, I thought to myself, I could see him saying, baby, listen, you've been working out. I mean, I can't make it. I got asthma. I've been smoking. Baby, I really think you can make it. Right? What kind of man says that to his woman, the mother of his child, and you're in a life and death situation? Oh, my God. And you know what's so funny about it is that there's women out here making excuses for this dude. Like, well, maybe she said she wanted to do it. Fellas, I'm going to tell you, life or death situation with the mother of your child, your wife or your child, you just got to take an L. It's just what it is. And, this is where you earn that plate. This is where you earn your plate. I've been telling women for years, take care of your man. Take care of your man. Okay? Holiday times, get your man's plate. This is why. This is part of it. Because if you get in a life and death situation, you got to die.
Cell service.
Check this out. Her name is Karen Klein. Check this out.
To help us out. And it was decided that, look, there is a main road up ahead. And my husband was in a car accident and is recovering from a broken back. So he couldn't really walk. And I have professional and recreational experience lifelong in the outdoors. So I said, well, I'll just walk up to the main road. I can do this. Like, I'm a runner. And I'll be back in a few hours. And I got to what I thought was the main road, which it was, but it was plowed, but it was closed. I did not know it was closed. So I saw that it was plowed, and I thought, well, someone
should be
reported
she might lose a few toes.
But I didn't want to just stand and wait for someone to pass. So I kept walking towards, I saw a street sign for Route 67, which I knew was a major road. And so I turned down to go to 67, and it started to get dark. But I had my cell phone camera, or cell phone flashlight that I was using to see where I was. And I had stopped and holed up under a tree for the night, but then I got cold and scared, and I thought, you know what, I just have to keep walking because someone has to pass sooner or later. There has to be a car that passes sooner or later. And it got to be about 1:30 in the morning, and at this point I had walked about 26 miles, and I said, I can't see anymore.
Is it a long way to walk? I mean, I guess so.
The experiences I've had with camping and
especially through
survival
the
training and all of that said to find the evergreen trees give you a cover, and it was snowing at the time and it was windy, so I kind of wedged myself into under.
Why are you in the wilderness with a man with a broken back?
With two branches on either side, but I didn't want to fall asleep because I knew if I fell asleep, that you hear stories that you would freeze to death. So I kept myself awake. I just talked to myself and
nothing changes for me to the fact that he had back surgery.
And got up the next day and saw that I was actually at 67. And I saw the sign for Route 67, and I saw a sign that said East Rim Grand Canyon Visitor Center, 4 miles. And I thought, well,
her voice is irritating me.
Done 26 miles. I can do this. I couldn't turn back because obviously nobody was around. So at least I thought I could get to where people would be. And I hadn't brought anything. I brought a small snack pack of Cheerios. Again, I didn't think I'd be out that long, and I didn't bring water. So at that point, I started eating aspen twigs and evergreen twigs, and
I'm learning
little boluses of snow, because you was taught you shouldn't eat snow because it takes too much energy to melt it. So I put it in my cheek and let it melt. But then learning how to
survive. I'm learning survival skills now.
And my feet being not really being able to feel my feet, learning how to walk again. That's just a process. It's just going to take time. I haven't lost any toes.
Okay. I get it. Boy. Nothing changes for me. You might be thinking, well, Nate, he had a broken back. Nothing changes for me. And I mean, your back. Listen, I've told my wife this many times before. People think I'm joking. I will never go on a cruise with my wife. I will never go on a cruise with my wife. I'm not doing it. I've told her this. She knows it. Until she learns how to swim. Because if something should happen, now both of our lives are in jeopardy because you don't know how to swim. And I'm never going hiking with another adult who just had back surgery. I'm never going to do it. I don't care who it is. If the wifey just had back surgery, I'm going to wait until she fully recovers until we go hiking. And would you like to know why? Situations just like that, man. We stuck in the wilderness, you got a broken back. You got to know your limitations, dude. You got to know your limitations. Why are you in the wilderness in the winter and you got a broken back? I mean, damn it. Does anybody ever think, what if? Nothing changes for me. He should have crawled his ass out there with his broken back and took one for the team. That's what a man does. And if something happens to you, your children will look at you as a hero and not the Mitch. Oh, I had survival training. Well, that was her. It was quite underwhelming. And now I'm looking at the picture of this guy, man. I mean, he looks like an artist. I don't know what that means. I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying he's got that artist look about him. That's my artist voice. That's my artist voice. I think there was an interview they did with CBS in the morning. They do great work. They're calling it the Grand Canyon Escape. And this is another example why you gotta be in shape. Anything can happen. You have to protect that gift that God gave you. Honey, my back. I don't want to hear it.
The scope of the whole ordeal.
Her husband Eric by her side, 46-year-old Karen Klein, says it all began last Thursday afternoon. The family of three was on vacation from Pennsylvania, making their first trip to the Grand Canyon.
So we set out that morning not realizing what lay ahead, that the major roads were closed and impassable.
They say their GPS put them on an alternate route that seemed promising.
The road was paved, and then it became a little more harried. We were thinking, well, this must take us to the North Rim. But unfortunately, that did not happen as the car got stuck in the mud.
It was decided that Karen, a fitness enthusiast trained in survival techniques, would go for help.
It was pretty simple. Karen is our problem solver, and she's got experience. She's super intelligent.
But soon, Eric...
It's pretty simple. She's our problem solver. Come on now. Read between the lines. She's our problem solver, and she's got experience. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I don't buy it. Pam writes a good morning, all. Dale writes a morning, Brent. Yeah, long time no see. Yes, it has been. Damien writes, they can never have an argument again. She can pull that remember when I lost my toes, saving your life card forever. You're right about that, Damien. You're right about that. Yet another reason where if you got to die on that trail, then as a man, you got to die. The women get the plate and you do the heroic stuff, man. That's what it is. Angela writes, good morning. Tiffany writes, good morning, everyone. Tracy writes, what's your highest rated episode, Nate? Well, you mean in terms of clicks? I have to double check. It may have been maybe the very first show, during that first week of shows, could have been. That's funny, man, because when we kicked off the show in February, I had a totally different website. And within a week, it became quite apparent that we were going to have to get another website. The site I had up initially was more of a vanity site. It really wasn't set up for podcasting or streaming live audio. It was not set up for that. You may think that all websites are made equal, but they are not. They are not. So we had to step that up. So I'll say during that first week, in terms of you talking about that, back during the RNC, had some a lot of clicks, even in recently. And Rhonda writes, they want to own a gun that killed an unarmed black child. Trayvon was only 17 years old. That's right. How macabre is that, Rhonda? How macabre is that? That is almost sinister. I don't want that. Hello. Brent writes, are you speaking of the venue on January 15th, i.e. the leadership conference? I will be in attendance. Yes, I am, Brent. I will be one of the, I won't be the moderator, but I'll be one of the folks who will be talking about their experiences. I'll be talking more from a media standpoint, things like that. 21st century leadership. Looking forward to 2016. I can talk all day about that, actually. Craig writes, what's up, Nate and the Choppers? Larry writes, yeah, I remember Mr. Larry Holmes, flabby and sick, so-called trying to discipline his child. Yeah. He beat up his son. I got a son. I'm never beating up my son. Because he did something in school. I'm not going to punch my son for something like that. Now, if he's wilding out some other ways and that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. Cruther writes, makes you wonder who all knew. Scotty, the suspicious hottie. Not Scotty, the suspicious hottie. Isaac, the cowardly lion. Harry Black, the Tin Man. Smitherman, the little man that suffers from Napoleon syndrome. I'm not really sure. Well, Smitherman isn't that short. It's been a while since I've been standing next to him. I'm not sure if that's funny as hell. First off, that's funny as hell, Cruther. You get an A for creativity, okay? And just straight up stones, okay? I love people with nerve. Just having the nerve to type that and share it, I appreciate it. But I'm not sure if he suffers from a Napoleon syndrome. I think Smitherman is driven by other motivators. Not to defend nor to criticize the man. But having spent some time around him, and I read people very well, that's not what motivates him. Now, there's some other folks I know that certainly have Napoleon complexes. No doubt about it. Scotty, the suspicious hottie? Oh, man, I hate to do this. Man, Scotty's my dude. Okay, I hate to do this, but I mean, you know, good flow is good flow. I got to give you an AB on that one. Scotty, the suspicious hottie. Isaac, the cowardly lion. And then, of course, the Wizard of Oz is John Cranley. Y'all funny for that one. Kiki writes, hashtag grapes. Deanna writes, morning. Adele writes, that's why Chief Isaac is temporary, because for Mayor Cranley to go through great lengths to have Blackwell removed and pay $250,000 in a settlement was all done to have his own guy put in place as chief. Could be. And the rumor is that there is a close personal friend of Cranley's, I think Cranley's father or somehow like that. And there was some, it came to me as if that this is the individual that John Cranley wants to be the chief of police. Could be. Could be. Cold Black writes, birds fly, fish swim, and tigers bite. Yes, they do. Tiffany writes, tardy, but I made it. Glad to have you. Brian writes, only in America. Sad, dirty ass jacket, LOL. You talking about Don King? Fame Up called in and said, man, no big deal. Don King, he hangs out with Donald Trump. For me, I'm like, I don't know if I want my president hanging out with Don King. Not that I can do anything about it, but I don't know how comfortable I am about that. Don King is nuts. Don King is all the way gone. All the way gone. And I hope that Don King doesn't become sort of like, did you ever see the movie Django? I tell people all the time people should see Django. I know black people, like, even my wife, she won't see Django. She will not see it. I don't want to see that mess. I'm like, babe, it's good. They're using the N-word too much. I'm like, well, it's a period piece. I don't want to see that mess. I'm like, okay. But Django is worth it for the performance of Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson plays the best house Negro I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it was an Academy Award experience. It really was. He played the hell out of a house Negro. Coon, Uncle Tom, you name it. Sam Jackson killed it. He killed it in Django. Y'all missing out. And it was almost like that's the role that Don King was playing for Donald Trump. So when Donald Trump ended the press conference and he walked back into the room or the house or the hotel or the residence or the compound or wherever they may be, Don King just kind of got in line, was like shuffling behind them. I'm coming, boss. All in America. He's like, He's like his little black entertainment. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning, caller. How are you? Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey, and the good people of Cincinnati.
How you doing, John?
Around the world. Before we get to, yes, I'm going to continue my onslaught of Israel and the Palestinians.
Oh, my gosh. Do we really need to?
But before we get to that, you were just talking about Donald Trump with Don King.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Just before the election, Donald Trump pulled out a couple of aces from underneath his sleeve, a couple of handkerchief-wearing black people to stand by him. And King was one of the people that did show up.
He was.
At his Trump Tower. So this is nothing new. He's only aligning himself, as well as when the election was over. We saw.
Well, one thing is new. He's president now. Speaking of Donald Trump, that's new.
Yes. And you can't do nothing about that. It is what it is for the next. I'm sorry. Excuse me about that. For the next 4 years, possibly the next 8 years. We'll be dealing with him. But let's see how this all plays out. And I wish all these old fogies on the Democrat Party side just go away. Biden and Uncle Bernie. And,
you're not going to vote for them no matter who they put up there because you don't believe in voting, John.
Well,
so it don't really matter.
These are the same characters that put us in the mess. Number one, I do agree with Trump when he says term limits. And a lot of these guys that's been there 15, 20, 30 years, they need to go away. Because that's
like McConnell? People like Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, yeah, they do need to go away. You're right.
And the character that he barely just won his re-election there in Arizona, what's his name? McCain. He's another one. These characters.
Oh, no, McCain can stay. McCain can stay because at least he's willing to challenge the Republican mentality. And he's trying to make some noise about the Russians hacking and impacting our election. So, no, McCain can stay.
Well, as much as McCain and some of these other focused fools, they will buckle in when it's time. When Trump starts negotiating, they will buckle in. Trust me, they will buckle in. Because if you saw with McCain under Bush and Cheney, he was quiet. Now, here it is. He was caught during the Vietnam War. McCain was caught behind enemy lines. He comes home and he knows what these veterans go through. What did he do? He let Bush and Cheney do whatever they wanted to do for 8 years. He said nothing. So this is the problem with some of these guys that's been in there 20, 30, 40 years. Go the hell away. Just go away.
Well, he ran for president 8 years ago. So, he tried to do that. And I don't know. I like McCain because McCain seems to have a little bit of common sense. I remember back during that election when he went to the town hall meeting and the woman was trying to call Barack Obama a terrorist and he's a Muslim. He's like, no, ma'am. And he at least tried to set the record straight. Trump would not have corrected that woman. Trump would have fed into the fire and fed into the disinformation just to get elected. So McCain's a lot different from Donald Trump to me.
Well, I'm glad you're reminding some of us about when McCain ran for the presidency. He was the sacrificial lamb because they knew Republicans could not find nobody to match up with Barack Obama. So they threw McCain in there and what? Sarah Palin? Are you kidding me? She's so busy looking at Russia from the back of her backyard there. So, the whole political system is a complete joke, which is what I've been stating for years.
I hate to hear you say that and you don't vote because you're part of what makes it a joke, John.
Well, I'm
getting angry.
Look at the presidency. The presidency is just a mouthpiece. The problem is the Congress and the Senate. There lies the problem with this country, as what Thomas Jefferson stated back in 1778. The problem is the Congress and the Senate, big banks, corporations, bad politicians, and the military state. Those four elements we are living in today. And when this incoming president goes in the door, we will have all four of those elements that Thomas Jefferson talked about. And God help us all.
Yeah, because you didn't get out there and vote, and you let this dude creep in the White House. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Well, all I'm calling for is all African Americans, male and female, the sound of my voice, legalize, get you a gun, because God forbid, you roll down the highway. Trump already told him, sent out the message to his Nazi policemen, do whatever you got to do. You better arm yourself, because that's where all of this is really going.
Oh, boy. All right, John. All right. Thank you for the call, man. John from Princeton, New Jersey, talking that ish, man. You talking ish, John? This man love to talk politics, won't vote. I'll never understand it. Rico writes, Morning Choppers, if you rise today, thank God for another one. Amen to that one, brother. Rhonda writes, I have to agree, the Get Down is dope. I will check it out. Crutha writes, wasn't that Donna Brazile that was fired for giving Hillary questions? I believe so, Crutha. Dale writes, D'Angelo Russell was hit with the I gotta have that white woman disease, a straight sucker attack, and wanted Nick's girl, so he went into Mitch mode. We got more men going into Mitch mode than ever before. It's at an all-time high. All-time high. Jerica writes, Jesse Williams is my man of the year for his BET speech. It was an ill speech. I remember it. It was an ill speech. He spoke some straight up truths. He really did. I give him props for that. Catching up here to Angela writes, where is the Sentinel's press conference? So I will give that information out. I can't recall. When is 6 p.m.? Where is, I believe, Southern Baptist Church? I believe so. If I'm wrong about that, set me straight, because I don't want to be in the wrong place. Angela writes, I can't believe he didn't search for a cell signal sooner. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. KC writes, morning all, good to see you. X-Squad affiliate salute. Angela writes, it seems like he moved when he felt desperate and the wife was gone too long. Yeah, but before I let my woman, or before I decide to move for 27 miles in any direction in the snow, the wilderness, okay, the first thing I'm going to try to do is get that cell phone popping. So if I realize I'm down in the valley, I'm going to try to get somewhere higher to get reception. That's the first thing you do. You don't let your woman, I don't care what kind of shape she's in, you don't let her go out into the wilderness by herself. And then 10 hours later, you're like, you know what? I just thought of something, son. Why don't we try to get to higher ground? It's ridiculous. MacGyver would be upset. What would MacGyver do? Tanika writes, did y'all hear that Carrie Fisher's dad passed the day after she did? Wow, such a travesty for that family, right? Parents don't want to outlive their children. If you're a parent, you feel that. You already feel it. You have an innate sense that they're supposed to outlive you. You feel like that's natural. Okay? If you die before your child, then you die knowing that your child, your seed, you procreated. Okay? You've passed down your genes to the next generation. You're satisfied. From what I remember, Carrie Fisher's mother had her when she was 24. She died at 84. So that means that for the majority of her life, many times over, she was a mother to this child. And then she loses that child. And within one day, she's gone. I mean, that's why people are assuming that she died with a broken heart. Roosevelt writes, Nate, not defending the mayor, but maybe he was told he had Sentinel support by Sentinel members, that he walked into that he has support by the Sentinel members, that he walked into council chambers with the Slaughter Blackwell gladiator style. I can see that happening. Well, I can see it happening too. But if in fact he had the support of the Sentinels and it was stated and it was explicit, then why did he apologize recently? He recently apologized to the current president, and then he apologized to the president of the Sentinels, the former president of the Sentinels. So why would he do that? That's because he lied. He talked it up. And the only thing I can come up with is among mayors, maybe there's some ego. You know, they're men. Rahm Emanuel makes his phone call to John Cranley. John Cranley's got to go big boy style now, okay? Oh, yeah, I got mine on lock. Okay, we got the black Sentinels in our pocket. We got the black clergy in our pocket. We're monitoring black radio. They ain't really making no news. Oh, we got this, Rom. Why don't you get your own city together, right? That's how I look at it. Angela writes, this dude has just punked himself out to his kid. The 10 years will be a murder on Pops. Rhonda writes, she said her survival training told her to go up a evergreen tree. I am telling you, he probably told her not to go, but she has all that for it. I can hear her saying, I can do this. I can train for this. I can hear that too, Rhonda. At the end of the day, that man is not supposed to let you do it, period. He ain't supposed to let you do it. Mother of his child, you got your child there. I mean, you got a model for your son. Oh, my God. Craig writes, she talks like a copper, hashtag the fuzz, the boys. Her voice is annoying. Angela writes, every time I looked at my husband, I would have an involuntary smirk on my face. Anytime he said something challenging to me, like, yeah, right. This from the man who was comfy and cozy while I hiked through a blizzard in the Grand Canyon. You're right. I just saw the video of the dude. I don't know the man. This is just radio. I'm giving you my straight opinion. We people talk. We people watch. I am not perfect. I will admit all of these things, okay? But this man seemed kind of soft and wimpy to me. Well, you've been doing all that training. Wait a minute. When your wife is out here doing survival training, what in the hell are you doing? You sitting somewhere with an easel and painting or something? You out here chasing Pokemons, which was a big story in 2016. Everybody's chasing Pokemon. How many Pokemon did you catch in 2016? I didn't catch any. If your wife is getting rock hard, she getting swole out here, she's squatting, she picking up like super big monster truck tires, end over end, she working out, she doing survival training. What are you doing? You sitting at home catching up on your Will Smith? Damn disgusting. And then, fellas, let me stop here because, you got to check your ego. Listen. Even if you had the trip pre-planned and maybe it was even prepaid to some degree. If you get into an accident and you break your back, until you completely recover, and then what do I mean by that? Completely recover to the point where if something happens, you can feel comfortable with physically dealing with whatever challenges nature or circumstance or Murphy's Law throws your way, then you can't go. You can't have a broken back and we driving through a national park in the wilderness. I don't need that. I'm sorry. I'm different. I'm not going on a cruise with the wifey because I can already see what's going to happen. We're going to hit an iceberg or some other ish. And now both of us are going to be clinging to a raft and only one of us know how to swim. You know what that means? I got to take one for the team. Don't put me in that situation, wifey. I've told her that many times. She's just so hard-headed. I don't have the time. Find the time. Adults should know how to swim. Should know how to swim. And if you get into an accident right before we go on like a wilderness trip, guess what? We might have to postpone it. Babe, we can't go. Oh, I can make it. Yeah. But what if something happens? Then what? Now you're a liability. It's like one of those horror movies. It seems like there's always one person that's got some kind of injury. How do you break your ankle from a simple fall? You monster bait now. That's the role you play. The monster's going to get you while the rest of us get away. It is what it is. Angela writes, her husband will never leave it down. Never live it down. Oh, boy. Pan writes, you go, Angela. I've seen the Grand Canyon, but I didn't hike there. Dare writes, yeah, LOL. He sound like a Mitch. Yeah. What? And listen, GPS, I'm not sure what app you're using. There's a couple of apps. You can use, I think this comes pretty standard on a lot of phones. You can use just like that Google Maps. But Google Maps is not perfect. You might use something called the Waze app, WAZE. That ish ain't perfect. Sometimes those GPS systems will have you in the wrong place. Craig writes, so you go on a hiking trip with a man who's a Mitch with a broken back. That's like taking a road trip to California with someone who can't drive. Absolutely right. And if you're supposed to go hiking, why does he have a broken back and you're on a hiking trip? It doesn't make sense. Erika writes, sounds like he wanted her to die to collect the insurance money. You know how they do. Damn. He says, you know how they do. Rico said, I know the whites. Remember Dave Chappelle on SNL? I know the whites. And that's funny. Greg writes, Django is one of my favorite movies. Hilarious. Yes, it is. Brent writes, yeah, Sam Jackson should have received an Oscar for that performance. Yeah. But all the house Negroes in Hollywood was like, wait a minute, he going to put us on blast if he wins an Emmy, if he wins an Oscar. Nah, you can't win an Oscar for that performance. Deborah writes, I thought he was going to start tap dancing. He sure did. Telling you, if you miss Django, you miss something. You got to sit through, it got some violent parts and it's got some racism in the N-word. We can have a conversation about whether it's gratuitous or whether it has a place in the movie or not. However, I think that we will all come to a consensus on the performance delivered by Sam Jackson. He killed it. It was beautiful. Hold on, maybe I can find some Sam Jackson here real quick. He killed it. It was great. Absolutely great. Adele writes, The Hateful Eight is way much worse than Django when it comes to the many times the N-word is being said in a movie. Wow. Pat writes, do something with that phone, John. Damn. John's phone he needs an upgrade. He needs an upgrade. Rhonda writes, 2017, get a new phone, John. Yeah, let's leave John's phone in 2016. Chuck writes, John the Baptist. Deborah writes, non-voters. Shh. Craig writes, John, F out of here with your non-voting ass. What's up, Rough Buff? X-Squad affiliate, what's up, man? Kiki writes, gotta go. Love. Have a great and safe day. One love. Appreciate it. What up, Shango? He writes, good morning, beautiful people. Avery writes, the settlement amount for Chief Blackwell may seem low, but I think the key thing is they rescinded the firings and allowed him to resign. Yeah. You're right. They did. However, that's on paper. And that's important, especially when you're trying to find that next gig. It's definitely important. But just as important is the public manner in which he was disrespected. It was made to seem as if Chief Blackwell was as if he was incompetent, ineffective, unable, not capable, should I say, to perform the duties of a police chief. That's the way it was sold. I would have had more respect for John Cranley and his city manager, Harry Black, if within the first few months of John Cranley's administration kicking off, if he just said, listen, I want my own guy in there. That's what happened with the city manager. They went to the city manager like, listen, this ain't going to work for us. Okay, we're looking for a different city manager with a different attitude. Okay, great. Everybody understands that. The problem with Chief Blackwell was not the fact that he was fired, in my opinion, because you serve at the prerogative of, well, the city manager and the mayor. That's just how it is. The mayor has a right to make a move. I just felt like it was disingenuous. You know, the community got involved. They had this whole big thing, this whole big show. Instead of just doing it expeditiously. You don't want the man there anymore? Okay, great. We all get it. People may or may not like it. Doesn't really matter what they think or what they like. You're the mayor. You're the city manager. You can make that decision. But do it with some dignity. And I don't believe that was done. Nathan Ivey, this is the Nathan Ivey Show. Back with more.
To find out if you may have prediabetes. And you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to. Nope. I'm sure you've got a perfectly good excuse. Kids, work. I get it. You're busy. So what better time than now? Let's begin. Raise one finger if you're a man. Ladies, none yet. Oh, count in your head if you're driving. Now, 3 more fingers for everyone over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40, 1 more if you're not physically active, another finger if anyone in your family has type 2 diabetes, another if you've got high blood pressure. If you're overweight, raise another finger, 2 if you're very overweight, and 3 if you're really overweight. You've just taken the world's first audio prediabetes test. And if you're holding up 5 or more fingers, visit doihaveprediabetes.org or talk to your doctor. There's no excuse because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness
5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed... could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson. The gender pay gap is alive and well as we head into 2017. Women make nearly 80 cents for every dollar a man earns for doing the same job. The pay gap is worse for women of color. African American women make just 63 cents for every dollar a white man earns, and Latinas make just 54 cents to his dollar. Well, a U.S. black billionaire, Robert Smith, has offered to sponsor the education of 24 girls from Nigeria, including the girls who escaped from Boko Haram captivity earlier this year. The girls will be admitted to the American University of Nigeria. Smith will pay their entire bill. Robert Smith is founder, chairman, and chief executive of Vista Equity Partners, a private equity firm with $25 billion in client assets. Smith is the second richest African American in the country, trailing only behind Oprah.
Now that I've joined Audible, my time packing lunches has become more, well, peculiar, as I listen to Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
The peculiar children came out of the audience and took the stage. Emma made fire, swallowed it, then blew it out again without burning herself.
I forgot the pepper jack.
Get Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children free when you start a 30-day trial at audible.com/actnow. Audible. Turn any time into story time.
The commute was exhausting. I was spending more time in my car than I was with my kids. It was tough for all of us. So we used Zillow to look for a place closer to work. Sure, there were some trade-offs, but I feel like I got my family back.
Home means something different to everyone. With millions of homes for sale or rent on Zillow, whatever home means to you, Zillow can help you find it.
That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Up y'all Trust Park, Nathan Ivey, the man, Cincinnati's only voice. And go to NathanIvey.com, man. Check him out.
Good morning. Welcome back. The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. And good morning. I mean, just think about how much we've grown since the show kicked off. I think we sound a bit different. The breaks sound a bit different. I mean, you're actually hearing advertisements, commercials, promos. This is just the beginning. And I need your support. I'd love for you to become a patron. And I'll be honest with you, while I do have a monetary goal, my first goal is to get as many people on board to become, as I look at them, as producers of the show as possible. If you're interested in supporting the show and becoming a patron, it's almost like GoFundMe, but it's different. I think it's much better, quite honestly. Go to my website, NathanIvey.com, and click on the sidebar button that reads Patron, Patreon. Patreon and become a patron of the Nathan Ivey Show. Shout out to my patrons. Shout out to Team NI. Shout out to the Choppers. And shout out to 2016. We kicked off the show in 2016. Since then, the Nathan Ivey Show has been named by at least one Cincinnati publication, Cincinnati Magazine, as one of the top podcasts in the entire city. I think they ranked us number 3. Either 2 or 3, I just don't recall. I want to say number 3. We should be number 1. Because of everyone on that list, we're the only ones doing a live show. It's not just a podcast. We do a live show every day, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. with plans to expand to a third hour. Or maybe, maybe we can project ourselves even more into your daily schedule. Even more into your daily schedule. Cincinnati needs competition. In terms of African American talk, progressive talk. Listen, I just believe that radio should always be a bastion of divergent points of view, a collision of ideas, a debate, if you will. And this show is slowly taking its shape and its form. How we sound today, how the show sounds today, the way it's presented, it could change within a year. You never know. You never know. Good morning to you. Welcome back. Here's my number, 513-873-7134. Numerous things. On one hand, we're talking about current events because there are some current events that are just too delicious not to discuss, especially emanating from the city of Cincinnati. And you know me, I like to name the names, call out the lames, expose the games. That's what I like to do. While also looking back at some of the people that we discussed in 2016. And I'm using my Facebook page as a guide. Using my Facebook page as a guide. But first, what do you think about the Bloomberg Urban Report? I mean, here it is 2016, and women, in particular black women, are still being paid less to do the same work than their white counterparts, especially white males. And I don't think that we really think about what that means. What that means essentially is that while you're at work and you're giving your all unto your employer, and you're spending time in places in a manner in which you really don't want to, but they're paying you. There's probably somebody else on your job at your same level that's making more money than you simply because of their gender and their skin color. And it's 2016, man. 2016. I'm looking back. Oh, this is Dave. This is dope. You know, just going back to your Facebook page is like taking you through memories lane. It really is. I remember back in, it was back in March. I spoke about a young sister, a young black girl named is Morgan McCain. And she started not just a website, but like a nonprofit, right? And I'm looking on the page right now. She's got nearly 5,000 likes. And it's classified as a cause, C-A-U-S-E, on Facebook. But the name of it is Girls Against Boys Sagging, or GABS, Girls Against Boys Sagging. So this young girl started like a group to educate young girls on how they can have an impact on how young boys are dressing. Because if young girls, like every time I see a dude with an extreme sag, I think somebody out there like it. Some woman is like, oh, good to see you, boo, yeah. Having sex with dudes with, I guess it's easy to have a sex with a dude when he's got a sag. I mean, his pants are already halfway off. You can get to it quick. But that was back on March. I remember big props for her, man. I thought it was an excellent idea. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I thought it was an excellent idea. I remember we talked about Gene Simmons back in March as well. Gene Simmons, the lead singer from Kiss. You know, the guy with the extremely large tongue. Ladies, do you think that a man with a large tongue, he's got a well-endowed tongue, is that a benefit in your relationship? But I had to take him a task this year because he said that rap music will die. He said music shouldn't be just talking. People have been talking about rap music dying since the beginning of rap music. I remember when I first got to Radio 1 and my show and my life had been heavily influenced by hip hop, and I brought that to the radio, right? One of the first to really do it in the Cincinnati radio market. Matter of fact, the first to ever really do it from a talk radio standpoint. And people will say to me, oh, that hip hop's going to die. And I just look at them like, Are you nuts? Now here we are. Hip hop has gone pop. It's worldwide. It's globalized. If there are aliens, I don't know if you believe it or not, but if there are aliens, they're listening to hip hop. Believe me, they love them some Pac. They love them some Pac. Love it. Absolutely. What else? I'll tell you one movie this year I did not see. I spent some time back in March talking about this, and that was the Tarzan movie. I ain't going to see it. The Legend of Tarzan? Hell no. Now, when I was a kid, I used to play like I was Tarzan, and then my little brothers were like the black natives, and I was Tarzan. How sick is that? But I was a kid. I didn't know any better. Tarzan. And what I don't understand is, okay, I get it. He works out, you know, he knows how to swing on vines or whatever. Okay, great. But how is it that Tarzan, who's like a European aristocrat, and his family's like in the wilderness in Africa on safari. I don't understand it. Why are you in Africa? I don't get it. He's got some deep connection with all the animals from the continent of Africa. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. If this ain't some cultural appropriation, some whitewashing, how can a European man have a deeper connection to the nature of Africa than the Africans that have been living there since the beginning of time? It didn't make any damn sense. I'm too old to get into Tarzan now. I'm just too experienced and wise. Sorry. I don't want to burst your Tarzan bubble. People hit me up like, man, it's just a movie. I love Tarzan. Grown-ass people. I love Tarzan. I'm like, I didn't know what to say. You know what I mean? Never at a loss of words, but damn, homie. This movie, it's just fun. I took my son to go see Tarzan. Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good morning. Almost the top of the hour. Something tells me we're going past 9 a.m. this morning. Something tells me. What else did we speak about this year? We spoke about, remember Megan Good? Megan Good is the kind of preacher's wife that I like, because when you go to church, you got something good to look at. You know, if you want to zone out and not really get into the word, you can look at the preacher's wife, because she's going to be dressed sexy. I don't understand it. When people criticize Megan Good for dressing sexy and she's a preacher's wife, people made excuses for her like, oh, it's okay to dress. It's okay to dress like it's a first date. And you sit in the pulpit. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. So now there are no standards even for a preacher's wife? There's a preacher's wife. You can't dress sexy no more. It is what it is. But again, that's like sacrilege, because, you know, by and large, women, they don't want to hear that Megan Good stuff. Like, Megan Good can do no wrong, right? She's perfect or something. Now, how you going to be promoting God and I can see your breasts? You can't. I'm just saying, in a sexy manner, like you're dressing sexy. Come on, man. You can't serve two masters. A lot of folks didn't buy that flow this year. What else this year? We found out that Hamilton County Sheriff Jim Neal, who is a Democrat, is really a secret Trump sympathizer, right? I mean, how do you as a Democrat go to a Trump rally and then try to explain it like, well, I wasn't there on a political sense. I was there because, he supports law enforcement. And we also learned this year, like, if you want to support law enforcement, all you have to do to support law enforcement is to just be anti-Black Lives Matter. That's good enough. That's good enough. If you're anti-Black Lives Matter, that means you're pro-law enforcement. 2 members of law enforcement and law enforcement sympathizers. And then keep in mind that law enforcement sympathizers are the people that no matter what video comes out, it doesn't matter what an officer does, the officer is always right. Always. Always. Walter Scott shot in the back. Officer drops a taser next to his body. Walter Scott shouldn't have been running. He shouldn't have had any child support. That's how some people look at it. But enough of me. Let's go back to the choppers here. Where are we at? Before we go to the choppers, a couple things. Remember this?
You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
Remember that? That was hilarious. When Birdman went on the Breakfast Club and went nuts, I mean, he did them a huge favor. I would love for Birdman to come on the Nathan Ivey show and wild out like that. It would be hard for me to contain myself. I'd be so happy. That was great. Dude was all caught up in his feelings. Is we done or is we through? Is we through or is we done? Remember this?
Y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
That went big. Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on it. The hell? I love the internet. Birdman was afraid to do an interview because he was afraid to get up there and talk about his feelings and get exposed and maybe gets tongue-tied or whatever. So rather than do the interview, he went up to sabotage the interview so he could go back and say, listen, I looked at you and told you in your face. Not that anybody gives a damn whatsoever. And completely wound it out. Everybody was running around talking about something.
Respect on it.
Put some respect on my name. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody. It was all kind of memes. It's ridiculous. Gregor writes, I just read she drank her own urine to survive. Yes, she did. Yeah, I drink my own urine too to survive. Oh, boy. Brandon writes, Django's a great movie. Thank you. Greg writes, he gonna stay in the big house? The big house? Oh, I ain't got no problem with it. If you ain't got no problem, burn the bed, sheets, pillowcase, and everything else. When it's blacker, it's gone. That's Steven from Django. Yeah. He said, you gonna stay in the big house? Wait. This Negro gonna stay in the big house? I mean, this dude is repping for his master's property. No, he's like a guard dog for his master's property. We just saw a local version of that. You know? Snapping. Don't you dare come to my master's property like that and disrespect his property. That is hilarious. Let me see if I can find this right here. Because I don't have it in my Django. I don't have it in my reservoir of clips that I can readily get to. But I can find it within the first couple of clips. Let me see here. Sam Jackson. Here it is. Sam Jackson saying, I can get to it very, very quickly. Let me see if I can find this part. That is hilarious. He can stay in the house. Okay, sir. If you say it's okay, we're going to have to burn everything. I think this is it right here.
Hello, Steven, my boy. Yeah. Hello, my ass. Who this nigga up on that name?
There could be some language on this. This is straight from the YouTube.
What's the matter? Why you so ornery? You miss me, huh? Oh yes, sir. I miss you like a hog miss fly, like a baby miss mammy titty. I miss you like I misses a rock in my shoe. Now, I ask you, who this nigga on that name?
It's Snowball. Want to know my name or the name of my horse? You ask me.
What the hell you calling Snowball, horse boy? I'll snatch your black ass off that nag down here in the mud so fast make your head.
Steven. Let's keep it funny. Django here is a Freeman.
This nigga here?
That nigga there. Let me at least introduce the two of you.
You get the point. I haven't edited it. I don't want to go too far with the N-word. But this is the internet. That is hilarious. You got to check that movie. I'm telling you, it's worth it. We're going to have to burn the pillowcases and sheets and everything now. This nigga out here, he's a Freeman? That was Steven. Yeah, that's hilarious. Hilarious. Brent Wright, should I say, Chief Blackwell was well respected and received accolades from across the country for his style of leadership. Matter of fact, to the point that when the current Attorney General, shortly after she took office, where did she go? Where was one of the first places that she went? She came to Cincinnati. I keep telling people, whether you realize it or not, Cincinnati's on the map in a lot of different ways. Loretta Lynch, sister, she becomes Attorney General. Where's the first stop she makes? One of the first stops, Cincinnati, Ohio. Why? The Collaborative. Everything was all good with the former police chief then. Oh, it was great. We all getting along. He's a great chief. We're doing community-oriented policing. So the mayor and the manager of the city, Harry Black, a brother, who in another job was referred to, at least in the media, he was referred to as the pit bull. So he's like the pit bull for the mayor. He's got them jowls, too. He's got them jowls. I'll bite him for my mouth. I'll bite him. I'll bite you. Right? They come to the city of Cincinnati to have this big meeting down at the Freedom Center. And I know some people that were in the room. They were just so grateful to be in the room. I was in the room, right? I wasn't in the room. I didn't get that invitation. But we discussed it. We certainly did in all its different facets. There was a couple of people that were in the room. And nothing really happened whatsoever. It was just a photo op. It was a way for Loretta Lynch to say, listen, I'm doing official stuff. Okay, I'm touring the country. And then it was a way for Cincinnati to say, hey, we're that shining model of reform. We've got the collaborative. We're different. And this whole time, the mayor and the city manager were plotting against the police chief the whole time. Let me finish up Brent's flow. He writes, I welcome his community policing initiatives that never took hold. It has become increasingly clear that communities of color are at the bottom of this administration's objectives. Really? Really? Why is that? Brent writes, rap has been around much longer than people actually realize. It's poetry, emotion, spoken word. Apparently, Gene Simmons is not familiar with Gil Scott-Heron, nor the Lost Poets. Great flow, Brent. No, he is not. Black folks ain't even really hip to just the scope of hip hop and just how legitimate it is. I remember having arguments with people on the air in the city of Cincinnati about the relevance, the staying power, and the ability to use the music of hip hop and transform it into something that could be more productive socially and politically. I had arguments with grown people with degrees, smart people. And I'm like, y'all bugging. Oh, this is going to be a fad. It's going to die. Kush writes, Tarzan was stealing something, LOL. Craig writes, Tarzan gets no play in my house. Tracy writes, zoned out staring at the preacher's wife. Yeah, you know, whatever gets you through the sermon. Pat writes, Nate, we also helped to get that disrespectful banner taken down over at UC Clifton area. Yeah, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. People responded. There's power in that. And as we move forward in 2017, you know, there may be times when it'll be upon us. I may call upon the choppers to harness that power again. Never underestimate the power, even if it's a small group of individuals. Never underestimate the power that you have. It may not seem like it because in the past when you made a phone call and complained or whatever, things didn't go your way. But if you can get enough people on the same board, we all make phone calls to, and I can anticipate having to do this during the Trump administration. You know, one thing that we're going to have to do is get a little bit more political and a little more action oriented in the sense of, hey, maybe we do like an email campaign one morning. Maybe we have to email or phone call our local senator or state rep because there's an issue, okay, that's on the burner. And we want to make sure they're representing our voices and they understand our voices. There's power in that. There's power in that. Rico writes, another conscious brother going off. Dr. Umar Johnson went on a rant yesterday and bombs everywhere. If so, Rico, send me a link. I want to see it. Kush writes, yeah, Dr. Umar went off. He lost points with me. Really? Really? I want to send me a link. Oh, I'm looking for it right now. Let me see, Dr. Umar. You can hear that, can't you? Nothing wrong with that. I'm fine. See what Umar did, huh? Videos. Send me a link again, Kush. Where is this video? I want to see it. Brian writes, Oscar performance, Sam Jackson, LOL. I mean, he played the hell out of it. Brent writes, that was so embarrassing and shameful of Rico. Omar said he did nothing to advance the prospect of unification. Now their ability to lead is in question. Rhonda writes, power in numbers, and we got the numbers. Man, listen, you can take 200 or 300 people, and if you're focused and you hit at the right time, you can make tremendous strides. Politically, socially, again, I'm speaking about locally now. I mean, in your neighborhood, here in the city of Cincinnati, in Hamilton County, where we can have the most impact. Kush writes, true hip-hop is bold and unapologetic. Absolutely. See, now you piqued my interest, man. I got to see what's up with Dr. Umar Johnson. Let me see, Umar Johnson. Okay, I typed in Umar Johnson rant. The hell? Dr. Umar Johnson goes on video rant. You know me, I love the drama. I want to see it. Oh, okay. This looks like it. Is the one with the Philadelphia hat on?
I know.
I have not heard this or seen it. Check this out.
We ain't getting away with that shit. You should have never came for me, nigga. I never fuck with your little dirty, broke ass anyway. Still living in your fucking mama house. What type of grown ass nigga going on 50 still living in his mama house, nigga? Look at my face when you talk.
Times are hard out here, man.
This ain't no WWF, nigga. Who the fuck is you, the conscious Hulk Hogan? You the conscious Hulk Hogan? Papa Smurf? Motherfucker, you look like Tattoo from Fantasy Island with your stupid ass. Who the fuck is you? Randy Macho Man Ceddy Savage? You's a fucking nut, nigga. You's a fucking nut.
Whoa.
What platform you got? What platform you got, nigga? You's a dirty nigga. So that a built.
Okay. All right. Let me stop that right there. Yes, the internet. And you maybe have children in the room. I want to give you some time. We'll go back to this. What in the hell set him off? Damn. And a lot of people have been criticizing Dr. Umar Johnson because of his GoFundMe. I have not, because if the brother's trying to build something, there's a lot of people that have done GoFundMes. Nobody ever criticizes them. That's up to the audience. That's up to people to make that decision. And we do need schools that have black intelligent people in decision-making positions. We do need that. So, I remember when I went to go see the brother when he was here in the city of Cincinnati, he was out at a New Prospect and he was talking about, what he was trying to do. That is funny. I'm reading some of the comments. People are saying, this ain't no enlightened brother. Some of these enlightened brothers, man, in 2016 have come, listen, first it was Tariq Nasheed calling a brother crispy. Now, how you going to be a pro-black advocate and you run around here calling a dark-skinned man crispy? Oh, it's because he's ashy. No, it's not. It's because he's black. You're trying to say he's burnt crispy. But let me get back to Umar Johnson. I didn't hear all of it. Let me hear this.
I'm going to handle your ass tonight, pussy. You ain't getting away with that shit. You should have never came for me, nigga. I never fuck with your little dirty, broke ass anyway. Damn. Still living in your fucking mama house. What type of grown ass nigga going on 50 still living in his mama house?
Times are tough out here, man.
Look at my face when you talking to me.
I am.
This ain't no WWF, nigga. Who the fuck is you, the conscious Hulk Hogan? No. You the conscious Hulk Hogan? Papa Smurf? Motherfucker, you look like Tattoo from Fantasy Island with your stupid ass.
Damn.
Who the fuck is you?
Damn.
Randy Macho Man Ceddy Savage? You's a fucking nut, nigga.
That's kind of funny.
You's a fucking nut. What platform you got? What platform you got, nigga? You's a dirty nigga. Sonetta built your nut ass. Now you want it with the prince, nigga? You the general? Well, I'm the prince, nigga. The general answers to the prince. I call the fucking shots. You dirty midget.
Whoa. Whoa. Damn. Let me process this. Damn. Hit me with so much. He said he was you to the, what did he say? Randy Macho Man Ceddy Savage? Somebody got Dr. Umar Johnson real upset, y'all. What's the backstory on this? Deborah's writing something. How you doing, Deborah? Tracy writes, I cannot stand Umar. Damn. I mean, whew. I think that was just the first part. Y'all ready for more of this? Somebody, Mike's right. Damn, Dr. Umar was in his feelings. Somebody got Dr. Umar all in his feelings. It's the internet. We can play these kind of things. I'm giving you a heads up. We just heard the first clip. I have no reason to believe that the second clip is going to get even any cleaner. So Dr. Umar is using some very extreme language. I want to give you a heads up. But this is the internet. We're outside the purview of the FCC right now, to some degree. I mean, in terms of the language, There's certain things you can still promote that'll get you nixed on the internet, but of course we'll never go that far. Never go to those areas. But this is Dr. Umar. Is this his second one? Or what is this?
That's right. Your ass lifting weights because it makes you feel equal. Because you insecure. So you got to be all big and muscle bound. So you
maybe just like to work out.
Well, guess what? You can lift all the weights in the world and you'll never be 6'3", nigga. You can talk about my gut all day, but I'm sexy with mine. I'm fine. I'm cool in my skin.
Meaning I got holes.
I can get rid of the gut, but you'll never be 6'3". I can get rid of the gut. Big Papa, nigga. That's why I'm Big Papa. I can get rid of the gut, but you'll never be 6'3". You'll never be melanated. Bringing up women. Don't do that. Don't go there with me. I'm gonna keep it a buck right there.
Oh, now you're gonna keep it a buck.
Cut. Okay. Right there, so I don't say nothing that don't need to say. So when you come back, I'm going to blast back at your ass. You come back, I'm going to blast back at your ass harder. You should have never came for me. You should have never came. I know you upset because things ain't go right for you in New York. I understand all that.
What happened to Dr. Umar? Did anybody get the backstory? Craig is saying something about Seti Savage. Who is Seti Savage? And send me a link. Someone on Twitter named Charles J. Moore wrote, Umar Johnson got his doctorate from the art school where you have to draw a turtle and mail it in. I know that's not the comment that got him so inside his feelings, though. It had to be something more. What started this? I mean, this guy is with the N-word, everything. Telling you, some of these intellectuals, some of these media types, man, are very sensitive men. Very sensitive people. Because the same thing happened to the Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed went completely off the rails. But let's go back to the phones. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Hey, it's Tracy. Let me preface the conversation by saying I'm off the clock. I'm taking my son to school, just in case anybody's listening. But, you know, when you talk about, you often use the word Mitches and, you know, men aren't men anymore. When I hear men arguing back and forth via YouTube or on the radio or wherever it is that they're arguing, that is like the top Mitch to me. I mean, you just talked about this man that let his wife go out into the woods and basically freeze almost to death. He's more of a man than two men arguing on the radio. I cannot stand when men get on the radio and do that silly foolishness.
Well, I mean, the radio, I would say, is different. Just for me. I mean, you got your standpoint. But for me, it's a little bit different. I mean, that kind of arena is kind of made for people to go back and forth. But I hear what you're saying, though. To me, it depends on what they're saying and how they're saying it. You know,
I don't know, Nate. It's just like that back and forth. And, I mean, it's like my husband uses this term, and I'm not going to put the cuss word in it, but he said, that's some hoe-ish. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what all of that is to me. When two grown-ass men go back and forth, it's just like, really, dude, come on, man. I know you got something better to do.
Okay. All
but
right.
That's all I have. You have a happy new year, and I'm so proud of you this year. You are the prime example this year of what Faith Walk means, and I just want you to keep doing well.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Take it easy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Tracy says she don't like none of that. She don't like none of two men arguing. To me, it depends on how they're arguing. I mean, and the nature of the conversation. Like, I mean, what Umar was doing is a little bit infantile. How did somebody online make you go that far to post a video? Why don't you just call him up or just hit him up and tell it to the man his face? Say it to him face to face or over the phone or to them directly. What's up with the whole Twitter thing? But yeah. Fame writes, Dr. Umar got put on blast by a woman named Conscious Stripper a while back, but this ring is something else. Yeah, I remember that. Brent writes, General Sarah Sutanseti. Ricker writes, the video is on YouTube, 45 minutes long. Sarah Sutanseti is who he was referring to. He's talking about a woman? He's talking about a woman? Really? Damn. I don't know. Maybe I'll reach into it and get into it a little bit more tomorrow. I don't know, but that was deep. Thanks for the heads up on that. You know me, I love the drama. Love it. Oh, yeah, I love it. As long as it's not in my household or in my business, I'm cool with it. In terms of the media, love it. Tracy writes, I cannot stand Dr. Umar. Kush writes, that's too much. Yeah, he went in, didn't he? Craig writes, damn dark-skinned brothers caught in their feelings. Yeah. Brent writes, LOL said he started it because he didn't want to sit with a tribunal of elders to get things in order and spoke ill of Umar. Huh. Chuck writes, he sounds like Tariq Nasheed Crispy, LOL. Dare writes, damn, who was he talking about? Woo! Rhonda writes, it worked when we did it for Tri-County Mall. Yes, it did. Yes, it absolutely did. 2016 has been very interesting. I had no idea that 2016 was going to be like this. I was planning something else for 2016, but sometimes fate, God, circumstances, they lead you into a different position. It is what it is. Thank you so much for listening. We went about 20 minutes over this morning, but hopefully that's not a problem. Okay? We had a lot to discuss this morning. Thank you for your phone calls. I really appreciate it. Shout out to John from Princeton, New Jersey, Tracy from Cincinnati, Fame Up, a.k.a. Leon. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the choppers, all of your comments. I really appreciate it. Shout out to my good friends over at SoulPublicRadio.com and my new friends, the X-Squad affiliates. This show will be made available in a podcast in about 20 minutes. You can find it on my website, NathanIvy.com. I'll have the bookmarks up within the hour. Make it easy for you. Shout out to my sponsors. The Nathan Ivy Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. Shout out to the advertisers. Hey, listen, my client list grows every single day. I'll be back tomorrow, deafer than ever, at 7 a.m. I'll look at what's happened over the last 24 hours and also look back over the last 12 months. Until then, I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.